Hi, I'm Jessie Heron, host of Rediscover Your Story, a podcast for marketers who want a break from the everyday learning, but still want to hear from like-minded professionals on all things creative. In this episode, I'm joined by my friend Ken Durban, or as you might know him as Chef Ken. He's going to talk us through the steps of entrepreneurship where every day feels like day one. Let's discover his story. Honestly though, from circa 2008 when we first meet, and you and I talking, I will never forget you telling me about your dreams, your goals, and then fast forward to here we are, 2023, and I feel like it almost makes me emotional for you, Ken, that like you've gone from, hey, I'm the foodie blogger in Cincinnati that we're just kind of like pretending and just kind of getting free food, all the way to like now. I mean, you are fucking killing it. And I'm just so proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's funny when people say, and this is like the entrepreneur hat, when someone's like, oh, you're killing it, because they're seeing it from their perspective. You see it from your view.
But it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this.
It's been, what I've learned along the way is that every day is day one, and I look to, I'm not even close to being done on what I want to do. So yeah, it's been a long road so far, but I feel like it's just starting to get ramped up at this point, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the bumps along the way, right? Like, I mean, you were just talking about this like off camera, but you were talking about, you know, feeling like, okay, I need to have like the Mac sitting in the Starbucks, and like that makes me like an entrepreneur, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I was working somewhere, I won't say but then actually the guy that works for me now, part-time, full-time, part-time, I was a cook under him at this place. And, the people there, it didn't work out. And I came home.
Creative differences.
Yeah, there was, And I came home and I was like, that's it. I'm not going back there, and I'm just going to do my own thing. And, from help from a lot of different people, including my wife, who's like, why wouldn't you? And her friend was there staying with us at the house visiting. And she's like, no, do it. Just do it. And so
who pushed you off? So they like basically pushed you off the ledge, right? You got shoved off the ledge.
If truth be known, because I know she'll probably watch this, they were sitting back at a fire pit in the backyard, drinking wine. And I came in, like I do occasionally, hoot and hollering and angry, frustrated. And they're like, just do it. Why wouldn't you do that? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
If money was no object and you could just do what you wanted to do, what would that be? And I just started saying, like, well, just do that.
So you just started saying, like, I would be a personal chef, or an at-home chef, and I just want to make experiences.
Yeah, I just want to cook for people in their homes and, get to experience all different types of people, different situations, different food. I get to cook something different every time. I mean, that's kind of one of my pillars, is that I haven't really repeated a menu in, 8.5 years.
Wow.
So every event is unique. So I went from just saying, okay, I'm going to do it, to going, okay, now what is that? So a business plan, or like what is that? I don't know. I never followed any conventional roads to do it. So I did write up a big plan. I wanted to have all this stuff, and I spent the whole summer pretty much doing that. And I went and got the Mac, because how are you going to be, pretending that you have a business at Starbucks if you don't have a Macintosh?
You have to have
a PowerBook. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and a very detailed coffee order. I mean, so
skinny vanilla latte, hold the foam, extra hot.
Kid temp. No.
Kid temp.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. You can do that?
Yes. I saw a grown man order that in Boston one time, right in front of me at Starbucks.
A grown man ordered a kid temp. I need to do that.
Yeah. So, and then I'm like, well, I guess I need like business cards. And so I went on Vistaprint and was like, well, I don't have a logo yet because I haven't paid anybody to do that. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, they have this logo on their website. I'll just use that. And then I'll make these fancy cards. Mm-hmm. And then I had, then I'm like, I guess I need a brochure. If I'm somewhere, like I have to make a brochure. So I spent like a long time developing this brochure and ordered a box of them. And then I was up the street, about a mile up the road from my house. There's this little liquor store, and I used to go in there all the time. And I had mentioned to the guy that, what I was doing, and he's like, we're having a wine tasting. If you want to bring food up, he's like, I can't pay you, but you could at least like get the word out, and this would be a good way for people to know that you're actually starting a business. And so my first was just in this like little liquor store in Edgewood, making food and then putting it out on Facebook. And then like, is anyone going to show up, or like, what do I didn't know. And people did show up. It was amazing. I had a lot of friends show up. And then, I had another friend who was like, hey, can you teach my daughters for her birthday to make pasta? And sure, anything,
anything to get the word out, right? Like that's all you really needed.
And that just went from one client to the next client and to the next client. You just build one at a time. And one of the things I'd say have been the bumps is just not kind of knowing what I'm doing and having to make the really costly mistakes sometimes to realize that I wasn't doing it right. I didn't have someone there going, no, don't do that, or don't do this, do this. So,
but you have instincts, right? So even if you do fail, you probably quickly realized it, or you got stung by the cost of something, but you quickly realized it and you moved on, right? Yeah. I mean, even talking about your logo, right? Like the logo that you have today.
Yeah, that was developed. Yeah.
If you didn't go with your gut and your instincts on it, then, I mean, who knows, you may not have had it, and it's perfect.
I had a gentleman come in that helped me like do my whole website, do my logos. And, we've never changed it in 8 years. I think we've made tweaks to the front page, but it's with the social media, that's not really, people don't really go out to the website mine is mostly word of mouth and that. So that was how it started. And the first few years, just learning a lot about myself, and building confidence and earning confidence over doing dinners over and over and over again, and making sure that the experience for the client is the number one priority over anything, and so in the early days, my biggest mistake was not charging people for my time and not charging appropriately, because I didn't feel confident enough to charge people what I probably should have been charging them.
But isn't that interesting? Like, did you feel so? Like, I felt like this, especially in my 30s, I would say. I felt a massive amount of imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, it's still something that every time I take a next step up, like we can talk about later, but when you I made the step to start cooking for athletes, that's a whole different level of individual. It's a different format for me and different things. So yeah, I'm like, I felt the same way. I was like, I have no business doing this. Why would they call me and ask me, should
I be here? Am I do I have the right to be here?
How's this even going to work? So I just show up, and it starts there. And what I've learned is that anything that initially strikes fear or a challenge I feel like I can't get over, that means that I have to do that. So I have to do that because that's just the next step of getting to where you want to get to, is overcoming that fear of maybe I shouldn't be here. What am I doing? To I'm going to do it. And, because I know I have to do it now.
So you're not running from that. You're just kind of running into it.
I can't afford to run from stuff like that anymore, now because, I'm not in my mid-20s. So I look at it as an opportunity to just learn and grow my business. And if it fails, it's like it's not the first time something didn't work out. So I just keep going.
That's huge.
I mean, I've had some big disappointments doing the business. That didn't really have to do with business, but man, it tries you because you're like, man, I could just go work here, do that, clock out, not worry about, all night long or 3:00 in the morning posting the Instagram or, or doing things that just people are like, do you sleep? And I'm like, yeah, occasionally, like Sunday I sleep,
Sunday's the day of rest, but every other day you're just constantly going.
Yeah,
what keeps you up at night? I mean, what kept you up at night maybe then, right? Like when you were first starting out, early days of the at-home chef versus what keeps you up at night now. Is it different or is it the same?
No, it's totally different now. Back then it was just like, sometimes there would be, this is crazy, but I mean, there would be times, let's say I'm in May and I have 2 dinners booked for the rest of the year. And I'm like, well, what if no one else books me for the rest of the year?
Sure.
Because, like there was no guarantees. Well, what am I going to do? How do I get that out? How do I, so I'm always constantly thinking of ideas and trying to use technology, trying to use people I know, networking, basically virtually knocking on doors to get people to be like, hey, so it's a weird thing, to be, it's not like,
but you have to do.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys have any special event, I used to say, if you guys have any special events throughout the year, I'd love to help you celebrate that where you can enjoy yourselves, enjoy your guests, and I can do, all the food and the cleaning and everything for you. So I used to say that a lot, message people or email them or now it's more of like, as the business grows bigger, it's like, where is the point where we have to make a big jump or
what's that next level look like?
Yeah. And we've been exploring that for 2 years. And every time we get to, getting where we want to go, there's like a roadblock or there's another lesson to be learned. And what I've noticed that my biggest advantage over these years has been patience, aggressively being patient. So aggressively pursuing your goals each day, but being patient and realizing that it takes a certain amount of time to get there.
Right.
Now it's like, I know people are going to hire me and I know I'm booked out and I know I have daily clients and, but it's like, what should I be doing right now? Am I doing enough?
And the scale probably, right? Like you had to go from really relying on just yourself to relying on other people to scale your business from doing the couple events, maybe a month throughout the year to now you're daily. You are daily.
That was a big hurdle too, because, I'm like, who possibly that I know could I trust to do that? And because, there's a very unique way that we do the dinners. There's a very unique way of how we approach that experience. And it changed during the time of the business. There was just a particular event that happened that kind of changed the trajectory of the business and how we looked at it. Less about it being like this business got to, I'm constantly thinking about numbers and stuff to where it's like, no, it's just all about the client and their experience and creating memories for them. And that's why, our goal is each time to create memories that will last a lifetime for them. So that's our goal. So everything we do for the business is directed towards that. So whether it's sourcing specific ingredient,
right?
If it's how we address the client and how we conduct ourselves in their home, how we clean up, how I prepare the food,
Even down to how you dress. I have to say, like, you even have that down to a complete, like, formula, but you do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got tired of wearing a chef coat. So I saw guys.
You modernized it.
Yeah. So, real high tech. I went to Walmart and bought a Dickies black work shirt and had it embroidered to look like I'm a mechanic. And because I think for me, myself, this whole culture of food and this chef kind of thing, which is good for a lot of people. They love wearing the chef coats and, and stuff. For me, it was like, I just want to always feel like I'm, this is my job. This is what I work at. I'm not, I don't know. It was like a blue collar feel.
It made you more approachable, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, sure.
I do love a good Chef White, right? I like it when they come out.
And I had them.
Yeah.
And, when I lost my weight, I had a big decision to make about whether or not, because I had to get all new stuff. Mm-hmm. So I had to make this decision. Am I going to go back to getting a black, because I used to wear black jackets. I never really cared for the white ones. Mm-hmm. Had to wear white ones and culinary school and stuff. And
why do chefs have white coats? Like, don't you think that all the shit and food's going to get on you? Like, that's a challenge.
That's the trick, right?
Right. You can't get it on you.
I used to get in trouble in culinary school because my apron, not my coat, but my apron would be dirty. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that what the apron's for?
Right.
Or like what?
Like, my kids come home dirty and I'll be like, looks like you had a really good day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, would you rather it not be dirty?
Right.
But they're like, you're messy,
Right.
I'm not messy. Well, maybe I'm a little, but I think
I just had fun with the food today.
I did, I went all in. So, but yeah, the even the way we dress, everything that we do is all about the client and their experience. We have to figure out ways of exceeding the expectation to bring them something. If it's their birthday, we're going to bring them this, or if it's a milestone, if, somebody's retiring or something, we bring them a card, we do this, we do that, we follow up, and
have your clients become like family to you?
Yes. I mean, like for instance, on my Instagram and Facebook, a lot of the people who, view all my stories or like my stuff, a lot of them, a good chunk of those people are repeat clients or just people that enjoy, that use the brand throughout the year.
I don't think I've met anybody who is, who works harder than you. Like, does that make sense? Like, you're hypercritical of yourself and everything that you do, but like, you also work so damn hard. And I'm really curious, like, who do you get that energy from? Like, I don't know if it's like, do you look up to any chefs that were here in the city or outside of the city? Did you ever look up to any of those chefs, or is it anybody else that you kind of like look up to get your inspiration for that?
Well, I mean, there's been some awesome chefs I've gotten to know and work with here in the city. And I think that Cincinnati is very blessed with probably one of the most close-knit, talented chefs. And I don't really include myself in that. I mean, there are some people that are very, very good. I'm over here in my little corner in Kentucky, but I pull from that. But I think if I had to be honest about how I run my business and how I try to stay, I guess as the kids say, on the hustle, keep the grind going.
Yeah, the grind.
I don't like any of that. I would have to be my dad, and because he owned his own business before he passed away, and I used to just see the relentlessness in his daily situation, whether it was, and it went for everything. It wasn't just the business. So you're relentless on, working out and exercising, relentless on almost every aspect of your life, because it all contributes to your success.
Yeah, you have to put in the work.
You got to put in the work, and you have to, be committed to it and have a discipline to yourself. If you don't have it, you're not going to do well. I mean, my dad used to wake up and he would go exercise, and then he'd work in the office for a little while, and then he might go do something, and then he'd be in the office for the remainder of the evening.
Yeah.
You know, and or going here or driving there or delivering this or doing that. And, you know, and I got to work with him at a young age. My sister and I both did. And, you know, there's no time, there's no clock on the wall that you can stare at. There's jobs that need to be done.
Right.
So when all the jobs are done for today, we're done, and then we'll move on to tomorrow.
Right.
And,
no one's there to clean up after you. No one's there to clean the bathrooms, clean up the kitchens, you know, like it's you. You have to do it yourself. You have to put in that work.
So, you know, for me, it's been very helpful to have someone that I'm married to who is very supportive in my business, and everything that I'm not good at, she's very good at. And that's been beneficial too. But, you know, she has her own full-time job that's very demanding, and she doesn't have time for the day-to-day, like
operations,
be Chef Ken's personal assistant,
right?
You know, so I have to wake up every day and go, okay, I have maybe these critical tasks to do today. And then after that, the day is mine. So then I can exercise, or I can
come on a podcast with Jesse.
Yes. And, or go, you know, wherever. So, but I always make sure that I get the things done I need to get done every single day. And, but at the end of the day, you still feel like you didn't. I still feel like I could have done way more. And
I feel like that today, not today, but like every day, I still feel like you put in all the time, you get all the things done. And with me, you know, obviously with the kids, I have to shuffle them here, there, and everywhere. And then at night, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a hard decision. It's a real hard decision. Like, do I just like crash, or do I keep going? Right. And it's kind of like a daily or a nightly, like, come on, you can do that one last thing before you crash.
Right. So for me, it's a lot about, you know, like doing Instagram stuff and that kind of stuff, or, you know, or getting things ready for an event, or ordering stuff. And, I could get, you know, it is constantly running through my brain, like things that it's just it's a constant thing, where I wake up and it's there. When I, you know, no matter what, like right now, even, you know, if I talk about that, I'm like, okay,
You're like, oh shit, the list is like going through your head right now.
That at 3, that 4:30. So, you know, you start, you know, that's just kind of the way, but, I wouldn't have any other way. This life for me is the best that works for me, and for people who are thinking about it, you know, there's not this like, I don't.
You're not an entrepreneur for easy. You're not an entrepreneur.
There's not this magical balance pill that you're going to find that's be able to balance your life correctly. I mean, there's going to be times where you have things planned and something comes up. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't leave and go here and do that. Well, too bad.
Right.
Like there's no one else.
There's no one else to do it.
It's me. So that's where it gets to, you know, you have to have someone who's understanding it. Not going to get too upset when you have to work at this time or every week. You know, I work all the weekends.
Yeah.
You know, I had a chef one time when I first started culinary school. I was 36. That was old then. You know, that was old for people that were in culinary school. And the chef said, you know, you're going to be working every night and on the weekends and all the holidays. And he's like, where'd you come from? And I told him, he's like, he said, I bet you had all those days off, didn't you? You know,
he was putting you through the school of hard knocks.
And he looked me right in the eye. And that was like the first month we did this meet and greet. And he said, you know, that for someone like you, it's going to be adjustment. You got to figure it out. It'll make you mad. You know, all your friends are out, you know, enjoying the summer, doing this. You're going to be doing at the restaurant 14 hours, 12 hours, you know. And, that was, even at that point, that was an adjustment, working at restaurants and being a chef and learning, you know, that you really don't have any time to yourself. And
you don't have time on weekends.
You just don't have any time, period. Until you get yourself in a position where you can structure your business in a way that you feel secure in that.
I want to talk about how, like, you're not classically trained in marketing, yet I feel like you do a fantastic job of marketing. I think that you reach out to the right network of people. You are on the gram, you know, you post the fun pictures.
Chef Ken.
Yes. At Chef Ken.
That's right.
Like, how did you know, or how did you kind of like solve some of these challenges? You know, like what's been working?
Great question. That's a wonderful question. And it's evolved over time, because when I first started, all I did was just, I hid behind the food. Even on my Instagram was at Chef Ken. It wasn't at the at-home chef, because I thought that was too many ats. I'm like, that's a lot of ats, and that's what people are going to like confuse that up. So for me, it was just Chef Ken, and it was available because I actually had that handle before I had my business. I had this idea that I wanted to do it, and a friend of mine was like, this new Instagram, you should jump on that and get that name. So I did, and so when I first started my business, it was just about my food. Like, it's just about the food. And I kept telling myself, this is just about the food. I don't want it to be about me, even though it's at Chef. Again, it's at
Chef Ken.
Who's Ken? We don't know, because he just keeps showing this picture of his crab cake.
Right.
Or a picture of scallops or whatever. So I did that.
Which they're very pretty, by the way.
And yes, but I think too was that I was about 280 pounds then. And at that time, I wasn't comfortable with wanting to be out in front of the brand, because I felt like at some point I felt like it might misrepresent the brand. And so in COVID, a little bit before COVID, I partnered with like the Scout Guide of Cincinnati, and they got me out in front of a camera. And then this partnership with Cincy Refined, and they've got me out a lot in front of the camera.
You're in front of the camera all the time.
All the time. But during COVID, I made the decision to lose close to about 100 pounds. And
proud of you.
No, thanks. And when I saw myself, I was like, well, that's not too bad. And then I was like, Ken, you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to shave the head, or are you just going to go like, half bald, or what are you going to? So then, so there's been this evolution on being more out in front of the brand, to be the brand. And trust me, it's not easy, because
is it really uncomfortable still?
It's extremely uncomfortable, because I still have people who tell me like, oh my gosh, it's like another picture of you, and or
right. So then you get like, ooh, about it, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, but
you need to do it.
But have you checked out The Rock's internet? Like his Instagram,
right.
Like, is he not on his every single day? Like,
right. Right.
Or anyone who's, I guess, considered someone who I have another Instagram, like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. That's my hobby page, and there are no pictures even of my face on there. Yeah. It took
me a minute to figure out who it was at first.
Yeah, so that's the whole idea, because It's not Ken anything.
Yeah.
So, and that's the page that I go to, that I just get to, and like when I go on my whole feed, it's just stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
Cars and whiskey and cigars and stuff like that. So having the Chef Ken stuff on Facebook and Instagram for me, marketing wise, that's just been a learning experience. And I still feel like that I could do more, especially with video.
Anyway. You should be doing more with video.
Yes. With all the new technology, with the AI stuff now, and just content isn't hard to make. It's just what type of content to make.
It's time consuming, right? I think that people forget.
It is. And I think that, what is Instagram looking for, which changes. And now that I have a few followers, I know now I can see how they
interact with you and engage with you.
Well, they throttle down, like Instagram is, we don't like that.
Yeah.
Or we like that, or we don't like that. Or,
so you're figuring out the Instagram algorithm is what you're talking about. I'm
trying to, yes, the ever evolving.
Okay. What about TikTok? So
I am not on TikTok.
So I have been getting schooled on TikTok recently. Two places that everyone is saying, okay, Jesse, you've got to get into this is YouTube Shorts and TikTok. So now I'm going to pass that information on to you.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge that to you now too.
I do follow a lot of people on YouTube. More, again, my hobbies is different things. And I do not watch any of the shorts. They're annoying. I don't watch any of it. I like content that's about 18 to 20 minutes long.
You like all the big long form content.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's because it's your hobby
or something. Like,
sure.
I don't, it's dumb stuff like, hey, I got a new car, or, car YouTubers are big.
What about
comedians?
TikTok?
I'm not, I don't even have it on my phone.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I feel like your content would be perfect for TikTok. Don't you think? Yeah,
probably. But then
it's just more work.
I'm an old grumpy old man. He's like, why do I have to add another one?
Mm-hmm.
Because I am on Twitter too, but I don't use it at all because I don't really understand why people are so angry on Twitter. And my business isn't about being angry or opinionated. It's just about helping people enjoy their lives. And I figure almost everyone on Twitter hates their life. So I don't get too involved with Twitter. I'm more on
Steve, are you on Twitter? Do you hate your life? Do you like your life?
I hate my life. I am on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. So you're
Confirmed.
right. Confirmed. It's confirmed.
No, and it's the format is a weird format, even though you can't now. Elon doesn't like people posting links outside. It has to be inner Twitter use. So
Twitter?
Yeah, like you can't post a link to something outside of Twitter.
Got it.
Like no one will see it. So I haven't really done any growth on that, and I don't really go to Twitter to get.
So you're just on the gram. You focus on the gram.
Instagram is good because of pictures and the video reels.
Which is another reason why you should do TikTok. We'll figure it out together. We can figure it out together.
We can do that. Yeah. I will do that. But emails, and I know these people's birthdays. I know they're like.
When's my birthday?
I don't. I've never cooked for you.
I know.
For your birthday.
You've asked me how many times. You've cooked for Melanie.
I have.
My best friend Melanie.
I've cooked for her, I think, a couple of times.
You did, I think Blair's.
Her baby shower,
wedding shower, maybe bachelorette party, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
They're offline. I'll tell you something very funny about that one.
I can't wait.
And then I did a dinner for them. I think it was her husband's birthday.
Probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
my husband needs to hire you to do my birthday. I'm the one that likes all the culinary experiences. Okay. He's the one that can just eat meat, cheese, and potato for the rest of his life. And nothing green. We can
serve him a lot of really good meat, cheese, and potatoes.
I know.
I can get the best.
I know you can.
So we can handle that. I can make you guys two separate things if you want. It doesn't matter. If it was just a 2-person dinner, I can make you all the fancy, and then I could just make steak and potatoes for him.
Do you know for our wedding, my mom, he wanted corn at our wedding, and my mom refused, and so she gave him a jar of corn and put it on the table for him. Because she would not.
Very sweet of her.
It was I was like, Mom, you are such a compromising person. I can't believe you just gave him a jar of corn. I mean, shout out to Carol. She's probably going to listen to this, but yeah.
So the follow-up marketing is just.
I love follow-up marketing.
Doing this whole if I see them online, I do things. I try to create this constant conversation, this relationship. So I try to really get them to follow me online, because once we follow each other online, they see where I'm like hanging out and doing I'm on vacation, or I'm doing that, or they're on vacation. And if I see something food related, or where I feel like it's appropriate to comment or like their stuff.
It's very intentional for you then.
Absolutely. Yeah. All that is. And I saw you got that. Is that a good place to go there? Because I want to go there. Or if I see they're in Nashville, I'll say, hey, you should go to Sean Brock's restaurants down in Nashville. One's called Audrey, the other one's called June. They're fantastic. So I go every time.
It's an extension of your experience.
Exactly. Keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep talking, keep creating, because they may not hire you again. But then if someone says, I was trying to figure out something new for a birthday, you should hire my friend. And that's what they say.
That's what they say.
They don't say you should hire the chef. They say, well, we had this chef one time. I don't know if he's still doing it. No, they know I'm still doing it. And they'll say, you should contact my friend Ken. He's a private chef.
And that to you is the ultimate compliment.
Yes, because that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So every single time, intentionally, not in a fake way, very intentional, we want to create an experience for someone that they can't help but tell people about.
So what's your favorite thing to make though? Tell me, I know you make a different menu for everybody at all different occasions, right? So like it's never necessarily the same, but what's like your favorite thing to make?
Yeah. I get that question a lot. That's pretty...
Yeah, it's kind of common. Then what's your worst thing? What's the thing you're like, oh my God, please don't ask me to make that. Jeez Louise.
I will say it because someone's going to ask me to make it.
I was going to say, that's going to be exactly what I want you to make me.
No. There are a few things.
I think when homemade fettuccine, no.
I can do that. But if someone requests some kind of like really fancy like desserts or something, like shout out to all my very good friends that are pastry chefs in the city who help me out constantly. Shout out. Yeah. You know who you are. Yeah. You know, because I'll lean on them.
That's like kind of my last question is like, how do you relax and unwind? I know you have a nice little getaway spot that you can kind of just like go and shut down, but how do you unwind?
Yeah, Rhode Island is a really good place to do that because I don't work there. Like I don't have clients there. So I'm just...
You separate the church and state.
Yeah, I'm just Ken there. And,
I'm just Ken.
The people who know me just know that I go to the cigar lounge a lot because all the guys there know me there. Or there's a couple of restaurants that I love there where the people that work there know us or whatever. But other than that, it's just I'm to myself, which I enjoy. I think exercise has been in the last 2 years, coming up on 3 years, has been such a great way to, and I know it's cliche and everybody hears that, clearing your head.
I need it.
It actually works.
It does work. Yeah.
When you get a sweat on, and even if I am still thinking about work while I'm exercising, I'm still exercising, and I always feel better when I'm done.
What do you say? You say put in the work, right? Isn't that what you say? You
yeah, like say, just do the work.
Do the work. Put it in. Yeah.
You know, and there's days where I've worked at an event. I like do spinning. I do spinning on the weekends, like 8:15 on Saturday and 9:15 on Sunday. You know, if you want to join me, sport at Crest Springs. I challenge you. Show up.
I'm way too far away to meet you there.
So for me, you know, I might have a dinner on a Friday night, come home, get everything, and like my body's like, maybe I could like not go to spinning on Saturday morning. And then I kind of have that little voice in my head that I've been able to create by these years of being in business and doing stuff. And like, no, as soon as I hear that, you got to get up.
You got to get up.
Got to get up.
That's the hardest thing. But as soon as you get up, it's like, check, done. I got up. I got out of bed. I can't turn around. Yeah, so you got to get the workout in.
Yeah, because you will talk yourself out of it. You know you better than anyone does. Yeah. So you can. But it was so hard.
Do you remember when I did
go for a walk later?
Right.
Blah, blah.
Right. And then the later turns into never happening. Never
it turns into like some beer and wings or something.
Yeah. The opposite of what you should have been doing. Yeah. I did the running challenge over Christmas. You and I were like chatting on like Messenger, and I'm like running, chatting, and you're like, wow, good for you. And I'm like, if I don't do it, I will never do it. Even in 20-degree weather, I have to get out and clear the mind. Yeah. So it's the most important thing to keep me like on track.
I challenged myself. Like there's this hill, Dudley Hill by my house. It's really steep. People walk it. And, you know, I always, when I was heavier, I'm like, how do people do that? Right. What do they do? What's wrong with them? Why
would they do that when you could get in a car?
Well, putting down the window, like, please let me drive you home. So, but now I do it all the time. Like I run up it now. So it's kind of like, it's so funny that I'm that person now. Yep. But lately you'll get a kick out of this. So I've been doing rucking. Are you familiar with that?
No, educate me.
So rucking in the military is just basically your backpack with all your gear on. Okay. So soldiers will ruck. They call that rucking. Get your rucksack. Let's go. Okay. Get your stuff. Okay. So this guy who was special forces, he created like these backpacks that you just put in these like weights into. And then you put the weight in the backpack and then you go walking. Yeah.
I basically do that. I go hiking. I go backpacking.
Yeah. So I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. But as a workout,
like 35 pounds in the backpack, and
Wow.
then you go walking. So the first couple times I did it in Edgewood, because no one knows, they were like giving me looks, like, and the cops were going by, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then it all came to a head when it was like kind of hot out a few weeks back, and I was walking, and I do about 7 miles, and I'm like, going. And this lady, she goes, "Oh, honey, are you okay? Do you need a water?" And I'm like, "I'm just exercising." And I think and then it occurred to me why everyone was kind of looking at me. I was like, it's very bizarre. I mean, I don't know. I'm wearing a backpack.
Yeah,
but
you could be homeless. That's what it is.
Bingo.
They think you're homeless.
That's what she thought.
Ken, they think you're homeless.
Yes. So I have a new shirt that I'm going to say, I'm not homeless, I'm exercising.
You need the shirt.
Yeah. So
I love that. I'm not homeless. I'm just exercising.
Yeah.
People probably are trying to offer you money.
they're like, "Oh,
Do you need bus fare?
are you okay?
Are you okay?
You walking through our neighborhood?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine. I live up on Fawn Hill.
Don't tell people where you live. This is a
We're
podcast.
doing good." They can come.
All right. Will you cook for them if they show up at your house?
No.
Sorry, I'm out rocking.
Call the police.
Yeah, call the police. Oh my God. I took up way too much of your time. Thank you for listening. If you would like to rediscover your own story, please connect with us at any of the links below. My name is Jessie Heron. Thanks for taking a break with me.